Hi, I'm Jacob46 and this is the Photoshop beginners tutorial number 2. In this tutorial I'm going to be going over blurring, renders, image renders, quick selection, transformations, layer adjustments and opacity. Okay, you may know some of these, so I'll just go over them in a bit more detail. Okay, as you can see, this is the tutorial number 2, so if you're a complete beginner and would like to know the basics, the complete basics, then watch my Photoshop beginners tutorial number 1. If you've already watched that and you want to advance a little bit more, or you would like to get information on blurring, renders, image renders, quick selection, transformations, layer adjustments or opacity, this is the right video for you. So, as I said, this is a carry-on video from my tutorial number 1, and if you're more advanced and already know about all this stuff, then this isn't the video for you, and you're going to want to watch my Photoshop tips and how-tos videos where you can get like fake tattoos, fixing corrections or whatever, stuff like that. It's not too hard, but it's got more difficulty than this. So if you're just getting used to Photoshop, then this is perfect for you, as I'm going to be helping you advance your way through Photoshop. But I'm not too good for myself, so it's going to be learning for me as well. But luckily I can do all these, so we're just going to skip through it quite easily. This video may be quite long, as there's quite a few topics that we're going to be saying. So once again, I'll quickly go over it. Blurring, renders, image renders, quick selection, transformations, layer adjustments and opacity. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm using Adobe Photoshop CS3 Extended. This would work in all of them, as they're pretty much the same. Well, mostly the CS3 Adobes. So let's start off with blurring. We're going to want to start a new canvas, which you know how to do if you've watched the previous video. So I'm just going to name it right. So with blurring, you may already know what this is, but you should know. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a colour, and then inside that colour I'm going to put another colour. Okay, I'm going to merge these two layers, which you won't have to do because I'm just starting on the basic step. You could put all this together with the renders later, which I'll get through. So now I've got this. If I go to filter, blur, you've got all of these different blurs. If we go into Gaussian blur, you see it just rounds the little edges. The higher we put it, the more effect it will have. But since this is just a square, you won't see much happen. But if I write inside it, and I merge that as well, then I'll go back onto filter, blur, Gaussian blur. See, when I put it higher, everything blurs. That's Gaussian blur. So you're only going to want to use that for a certain thing. You'll probably want to use it on single layers only, not merged layers. Another thing I find really nice is when you go into blur and you go to radial blur. You see here you can do spin or zoom. You want to put the quality to best, and I quite like a bit of zoom, so let's put the amount to about 20 and watch this. Well, nothing much will happen as it's just a plain rectangle, but you can see the effects kind of coming on. I used this technique for the for this, so the same effect was used on the background of that. Okay, now let's just open this up again. The other blurs we've got just a normal blur. We've got average, box blur, Gaussian, lens, motion. Motion blur. We have a look at this. You can change what angle it goes on, and we can have a blur up like that. It's a bit of jitter. I know it doesn't look nice, but you're not supposed to do it on whole layers. Okay. Got surface blur. I haven't used this before, so we'll have a little look. I still don't know what it does. Oh, there we go. It just cleans it up a bit. Right. So now onto the renders. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up your internet browser and go to planetrenders.com. That's spelled out as planetrenders.net. You can also just type in Google Planet Renders and it should be the first result. The site will look like this. This is a great website for getting free renders or images to put onto your images, or signatures as people call it. So we'll just find a quick picture. What should we do? We go into the renders gallery. You don't have to look through the whole gallery. You can type in a specific thing using the search. So when the renders gallery opens, which is really slow on my computer, right, if I just go into abstract 3D renders. Okay, we'll leave this site open for now, and we'll come back to this in about 2 minutes. There's one quick thing I want to go over first, which is renders, and then we'll go to image renders. So we go back into Photoshop. Now, normal renders. If we go to filter, render, you'll see here you've got clouds, different clouds, fibers, lens flare, and lighting effects. If we go to different clouds, that will use the colours in the image, I think, unless it's clouds. If we go into render, click clouds, so you just get normal clouds using these colours here. So if I change that to red, filter, render, clouds, red and blue. But then if you go into different clouds, it looks very nice actually. I like the look of different clouds. And then you can also go back onto fibres. This one doesn't look that nice, I don't really like it, so it's best to keep the strength and vibrance down. I like the strength quite low. You see that you get quite a nice effect actually. Also on renders we've got lens flare, so we can have like really bright. This is also something I used on the other image, so you got like that. And finally you've got lighting effects, so you can choose where the light comes from. If we have the light coming from the top corner, lights the whole canvas, but from the top corner, you see it changes the lighting effect quite drastically, and it gives it quite a nice effect. Okay, now so on top of this we're going to go back to planetrenders.net. We're going to find ourselves a nice image. I don't want that. I want a proper image of like a person or something. So I don't know why my internet's so slow today. Right, PC game renders, that'll do. Okay, if I just pick, I'll just pick this, 4-story. Right. There's no point in saving it, you can just copy it, go into Photoshop, edit, paste, or Control V as it says next to it. But you'll see you've got this black thing around it. We don't want that there. So this is where the quick selection helps. We're going to go over here to this tool over here, which is like a rectangle lined and some pencil next to it. I showed you this tool a bit yesterday, I think. So what we're going to do is we can keep the brush size about 30, make sure it's on plus. We're just going to click around. You'll see it starts masking it out, and then we're just going to press delete. And we can do that for all of it. If there's any like there that's too small, you just zoom in, change the brush size, yeah, and then you can just delete it like that. Okay, sometimes this isn't very accurate, it deletes things that you want to keep. So if that is what the case is, then you're going to want to try to mess around with the settings by going down, hardness, spacing, diameter, and probably the pen pressure. Okay, so there's quite a few things that can go wrong with that tool, so if it's not for what you want, and I quickly go back, if the tool didn't do it for you, you can also select this one, the lasso tool. We zoom into this corner over here, you go into the tool, you can just mask around it like that. You go to the bit you want and delete. Okay, you can also use the eraser tool for this, although this isn't as clean. Okay, now you see that we've got some jagged edges around here. The tools that I showed you yesterday in blending options can help you here. You can just go to an outer glow, but that's not very professional. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to filter, blur, and we're going to Gaussian blur the edges like that, and then we're going to right click on the layer, duplicate the layer. one thing, we don't want the blur on the duplicate. So we're going to duplicate the layer first. Then on that layer, we're going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, put it quite high. Change the opacity down a bit. Like that. It's not too great though, so yeah. We delete the blurred layer. Another alternative is on this layer, we can go over here to the blur tool. We can go around it like that. The best way of doing it though is duplicating layers, and you'll find it gives it a nice nice effect. So just have another look in blending options. You could go for like just an outer glow, like really thin opacity, no, to be quite thick opacity. Try and match the general colour like that. You see it does look quite clean as it's one of the main colours, so that's probably the best option for you to go for. Right, still got some black there, so back onto this tool, delete. Okay, you'll see now we've just got the layer, the render, sorry. So we're going to place the render in, and what's next? Transformations. Is your render too big? Is it too small? Well, you can either click here, show transform tools, you'll get the rectangle up here next to it. You can change the size, but you can go like that and mess it up. So what I recommend you do is, wait, let me just get it back to normal, if I can. Right, what I recommend you doing is holding down shift and then dragging it, and that way you can only go with the normal size. You can't go higher, you can't go too wide. But remember, when going bigger, it can mess up the quality, so the best idea is go smaller. So I'll keep it like that. Other transform tools we've got is, if we go to edit, transform, you can do the same again. You can scale it, which is what we've just basically done. You can also rotate it, so if you go to the corner. You can also skew it, which I think does, oh no, it's like that. Really messes up, but it's useful. You can also distort it, like that. You can also perspective it, I've never used that before. That's quite nice actually. You can also warp it. So if I select like here, actually wait, if I undo that, I'll just put it like that. You could go like that, but I don't want that, so I'm undoing it. Also, you can rotate it 180 degrees. You can rotate it again 90, and I'm going to do that again once more. You can also flip it horizontally and flip it vertically. So there's many transformation tools you can do. And then finally, we'll get to opacity, where you can make it so it's a bit more transparent. If we go to, you see above on the layer, click which one, and then select opacity and drag it down. See, the lower we go, the harder it is to see the image, and eventually 0 will disappear. We're going to keep it on 1 for now. So, this was just a quick beginner's tutorial number 2, showing you the blurs, renders, image renders, quick selection, transformations, layer adjustments and opacity in Photoshop. So I hope this has helped. If you would like a Photoshop tutorial number 3, please comment below to my channel or send me a private message, as I will be happy to. As I said at the beginning, I'm not very good at Photoshop, so sorry my tutorial's a bit lame. If you would like a bit more advanced videos, my Photoshop tips and how-tos are available for you to watch, where you can get like fixing up incorrects on image, fake tattoos, removing spots and all that, changing colours, there's lots of things. Okay, so let's quickly go over what we've done today. This shouldn't take that long, I'll rush it for you. Okay, filter, blur, you've got all your blurs here. Gaussian blur is the most common. Motion blur is a very nice effect, but it's not worth doing on it. So if I quickly go into the background, filter, blur, motion blur. Oh, sorry, wrong one, radial. We want radial blur. we put it to best, zoom quite a bit. It just doesn't change it very much because it's not much of a background, but it does the job. Okay, we then go to renders, difference clouds and normal clouds. That looks really nice. And then once again we can radial blur that one. You see it gives it a little zoom effect. Right, we've then got image renders. So planetrenders.net, where you can get your images. There's a load on there for free, so you don't have to pay for them, and you could just use them on your signatures or graphics, whatever, so feel free. The link is in the description, of course, but it's also just planetrenders.net. You can also find this on Google, and I've got a pop-up, stupid internet. Right, so once again the link's in the description. Right, next, quick selection, this tool over here, quick selection tool, or you can press W. You just click around and you delete things that you don't want. It's normally done by colour. You've also got the lasso tool where you can scroll at, delete. Right, and of course you've also got the eraser tool. What would we do without that? Right, transformations. This is where you can change the size, flip it horizontally, upside down, blah blah blah. Edit, transform, which I can't do at the moment because I'm on the wrong layer. Edit, transform, and also show transform tools. That's different. Okay, then we've got layer adjustments. What did I show you for that? Did I skip out layer adjustments? That's it, I skipped out layer adjustments. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the layer adjustments. So if we go down here, you see this? Right, first we'll go into the background. Click this, and you've got loads of these. The ones I use quite often is the colour balance. This is what I used on the first background, because I changed the colour to a light blue. So you see we could do that. You see it changes the colour quite a bit. There's quite a lot of things in here, like hue saturation. That could be quite nice doing that on animation actually. You've got saturation. Quite nice like that. Lightness, well, pretty blessed about there. What else have we got? Okay, let's have a look at brightness and contrast. You obviously know what that does. Contrast. Put that there. And levels. This is a bit complicated, I'd leave that for now. Okay, so I hope you found out a bit more, so you can make some backgrounds, putting images in. It's very simple to use Photoshop, you'll get used to it in no time. So I'm very, very hoping that this video has helped you. I'm sorry for the problems that I've had, forgetting layer adjustments, messing everything up, having to go over it again. That's me, I do that. I'm not good with recording for a whole like 16 minutes without stopping. My videos are normally like 2 or 3 minutes, so doing long videos isn't good because I don't like having to record it again. That's how lazy I am. Finally, I'll have to quickly go over the opacity again. You click the layer you want, you've got it right above here, it says opacity. You click that and you can drag it to what you want. Remember, you can also type what you want, so 67, and you've got it there. So let's put 100 back in. So remember, we've just gone over blurs, renders, image renders, quick selection, transformations, layer adjustments and opacity. If you need any further help, just feel free to post a comment below, send me a private message or send it to my channel, and as I'm very stupid and read all of my messages, I shall read it and reply. Remember, if you want a number 3, also send me a message because I'll be glad to do it, and you'll also get a shout out for requesting it. So I hope this has helped, and I'm very sorry for it being so long. What's that? 1,134 seconds now. 227,000 frames. Whoa. This is going to be quite a long video. So let's end it now. So please comment, rate, and subscribe. Remember, I want 1,000 subscribers by December the 25th. And my videos are currently request only. So if you want a video, you can request it. I am making videos that aren't requested, but they're carry-ons from others. So this video wasn't requested, but it was a carry-on from number 1. I'm hoping this helped. If it didn't, I'm ever so sorry. But yeah, you just have to probably either wait for another video, ask me, or just go over my mistakes, because I do that a lot. So I'm going to wrap this up because we're getting to 235,000 frames, 1,179 seconds. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm JoeQuicks46. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Sorry for a long video, and I'm off. Bye bye. 237,000 frames, 1,192 seconds.